Call of Duty is a game franchise that has revolutionized the industry of first-person shooters forever. And while the game can be a fun, competitive game, there are several secrets and rather odd occurrences that many players seem to miss. Tonight on the Phobia Project, we are going to take a look at some of the creepiest things from different stages in the Call of Duty franchise that some people may have missed. It can be easy to find scary things in scary games, but we think it can be terrifying to experience things in games that might not be expected. For that reason, we are going to omit anything zombie related from this list, as in itself, that stuff was intended to be creepy, because it isn't a secret. But trust us, we have found some very odd things hidden away in the older Call of Duties. World War II is often classified as one of the most gruesome wars in all of Earth's history, with the total loss of life estimated to be somewhere between 60 million and 80 million. And Call of Duty World at War did an excellent job at depicting some of those horrors of war. But when a player is all alone in a multiplayer game on certain maps, it may seem as if they might not be as alone as they may first think. On the multiplayer map Asylum, some very odd occurrences can be overheard. Sounds of knocking and voices can easily be heard everywhere, but one of the creepiest is a mysterious piano that is just playing random notes. It can be heard even better in spectate mode, but oddly enough, there isn't any piano nearby. During the 1940s, people who were classified as insane were treated much differently as they may be treated today. Segregated from the rest of the world, sometimes people who were admitted to these hospitals were abused and even tortured. The creepy, eerie, and unsettling music may only be a grain of sand to the real unsettling truth that occurred in those types of hospitals. During the Pacific Theater in the 1940s, the Japanese military was notorious for torturing prisoners of war. In World at War, on the level Hangar, if a player stares into a prison cell for a long enough time, a terrifying scream from a ghost that was tortured can be overheard. Its chilling scream is a constant reminder of what humans can be capable of. Similarly, on other levels of the game, the voice of Hitler speaking can be heard as if the player was there. Prior to the release of Call of Duty World at War, the first game in the Modern Warfare series, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, was released. This game showcased a realistic view of political-focused warfare that was very similar to occurrences during the late 2000s. But when halfway through the game, one of the protagonists is involved in a helicopter crash caused by a nuclear explosion, the player is able to walk around for a few brief moments before their death. During this time, if a player walks up to a now destroyed park, the sounds of children playing and then screaming can be heard. Possibly the sounds of what happened just moments before the explosion. Similar to the last entries on this list, in the final game of the Modern Warfare trilogy, if a player goes to the level Sanctuary and lays in a certain corner, players can overhear dialogue of a mother telling her child not to run out in the street, while a little girl screams.
Don't get too close to the road, sweetie. Sarah, don't go too far.
The dialogue was deleted from this haunting scene from the Modern Warfare 3 campaign, where a family is killed gruesomely in a terrorist attack. Call of Duty Finest Hour, being the oldest and final entry on this list, might not seem as scary as the previous notes on this list, but it is still worth mentioning. There are several hidden Easter eggs in this game, featuring straight-up ghosts. A ghost mysteriously appears playing what appears to be a mandolin, and in other sections, players can see a bunch of floating candles surrounding pictures of infants on the wall. Why was this included into that Call of Duty game? Fans still speculate to this day. Did you enjoy this video? Consider subscribing for more horror in video games. And leave a comment on which game we should cover next. Also leave a like if you watched this far. While you're at it, check out these other terrifying videos on video games.